Hey, everybody. Hope you guys are doing great on this weekend. It's been awesome. A lot of fun, beautiful weather in East Tennessee. I hope wherever you're at that you've also had an amazing weekend. And we want to drop in just for a few moments and share about a recent call that we received from the principal of one of our children's schools. And it was really interesting. At first, it was like one of those calls like, your kid's not in trouble, but we are reaching out to talk to you. Alarm bells going off, right? And if you ever experienced that, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And just to remind you guys, we at Turnaround Marriage, we help committed Christian couples finally end the cycles of conflict and negativity and what was it? And disconnection. And we help them reclaim the love, passion, and playfulness that they once had.
And it's a lot of fun doing that.
It's a ton of fun. And so, but when the principal calls and says, it's not an emergency, but I do need to talk to you. That's alarm bells. And
for sure.
When you and I were not on the same page,
about a lot
years
of
ago, any conflict with the children resulted in a major conflict with us.
It did.
And so we were just celebrating the fact that it didn't end up this way.
Absolutely. We get that call and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, of course, you're wondering what it's all about and all those questions. And we got to the bottom of it. It was a young man treating one of our daughters inappropriately, and the school was handling it, and our daughter smacked the kid. So awesome. We're stinking proud of her.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot more to it, of course, but that's not the point. The point is what you exactly just said, is that immediately after even though I'm still boiling, I'm still like frustrated about this kid. I want to smack him, like, and all the questions that are still lingering in my head that I still want to ask the principal about all these things. I went back to, wow, when we get home, we're going to be on the same page and we're going to figure this out together and as a family, and it's going to be okay. And that wasn't always the case, was it?
No, it wasn't. Years ago, whenever there was conflict with any of our kids, it immediately
that doesn't happen very often when you're parents of, four kids, 6 kids. We have 6 kids, 4 at home. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, does it?
I'm telling you, I mean, conflict with the kids was literally conflict with us. And in fact, that was usually what the conflict was about, was just a difference in parenting styles, a difference in how to handle it.
Difference in experience growing up. Yeah, all that.
Yeah. And so in the past, it was, these kind of conflicts would just literally divide us, and we couldn't get on the same page. We couldn't understand where each other was coming from. We didn't listen to each other, and it would escalate and escalate and escalate and turn into a stonewalling match. Maybe stony silence for a couple of days. Maybe slamming around in the kitchen on my part. I may or may not have slammed cabinet doors. I don't know.
We both didn't cope well. And because it was exactly that, we didn't, even whatever it was like we had to deal with the kids first, and then you're going to deal with it one way, I'm going to deal with one way, then we have to deal with the fallout of us dealing with it from different perspectives, and that was never fun. And it might have been anger, it might have been frustration, sometimes it was sadness. It was just I'd be really like, I'd just go to bed. I'd feel like I'm not the man of the house anymore, you are. And it was crushing, so there was a range of emotions depending on the day, depending on the phase of life, what kid, what happened. You didn't know what we're going to get. It was a mixed bag.
And the real problem was that you and I were not prioritizing our marriage at the time. We were prioritizing parenting. We were in the throes of it. We had 6 kids at home. We were, up to our eyeballs in kid problems. And because we weren't a strong, united team, the conflicts just exacerbated what was going on between us. Don't you think?
Yeah. And when you're focused on the kids, when they're acting up, and sometimes I think focusing on them makes them act up even more.
Absolutely.
When you're focused on them and you're like, I'm a good parent, I'm really focused on them, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and you're in the way. That's how I felt a lot. Did you ever feel that way?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I wonder if there's others that are out there tonight that, feel the same way. And I couldn't help but think, like, even this weekend, different, games we're playing with kids, playing football, all these different things we're doing with the kids. And shocker, they're not perfect.
Shocker. Someone got punched in the stomach and someone got mad and
oh yeah, it was not pretty. Like, yeah, you kids, yikes. Okay, imagine that. They're sinners. But
I don't know where they get it from.
But what was amazing, like, even that a few years ago, that could have been entirely different. Where, I was really frustrated by my kids, and I was mad, but the point was, I knew that we were going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And I knew that we were okay. And I knew that we were on the same page. And I knew that when we went back inside, it wasn't going to be figured out with the kids and figured out with you. Mm-hmm. I knew we were going to come together, talk about it, be on the same page and fix it. Mm-hmm. Right. And deal with that.
Because learning the skill of teamwork and the skill of good communication has made all the difference for us, don't you think? Absolutely. In the skills, I should say, there's multiple skills there. And it's made all the difference for us. And of course, we're far from perfect parents. We're far from perfect in our marriage, but it's just these tools we've learned and they're so invaluable. And they can get you off the crazy train real very fast quickly. And you can get back on track rather than getting completely derailed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I think in addition to that, it's, I talked to a lot of couples, even was speaking to one earlier today, and it was like they're living in the same house, parenting the same kids, but don't even feel like they're on the same team with their spouse. And when you don't feel like that, you don't have that trust, you don't have that connection, communication's breaking down, and obviously, if you're not on the same team, you're not going to show up with the kids in a way that you're going to be able to parent them correctly. You're not going to be able to parent them effectively in the direction that they need to go, because you're almost like fighting it out over them. And that just makes it miserable for not only you, for your spouse, but it makes it miserable for the kids. And I know I keep talking about this, but Genesis is so clear that the commandment to us, one of the first commandments to mankind, is to be fruitful and multiply. And that the yes, you're supposed to have children, but the vine is the nourishment for the fruit. The children are to derive the strength from their parents and their marriage, not just them being there.
Right.
Don't you agree with that?
Absolutely. And how many parents do we know that are just basically putting up with each other for the sake of their kids, rather than trying to prioritize their marriage for the sake of their kids?
Yes.
Because honestly, prioritizing your marriage when mommy and daddy are good, that child has such stability. That child has such a sense of security. And when the child senses the dysfunction, and they can feel tension, they're not stupid. Children are extremely perceptive. And if they can sense that, it's a very unsettling feeling for children. Yeah. It's very it doesn't feel good. It feels scary. It feels you don't feel secure. You don't know what's going to happen next.
And they'll a lot of times lash out.
Yeah. So the very, very best thing you can do for your kids is to strengthen your marriage. That's the best thing you can do.
Absolutely.
That's what they need more than anything.
And a lot of times those problems that are showing up in your kids, it's not because you're not loving them. It's not because you're not correcting them. It's because this is not right. And when you get this right, the kids begin to thrive.
Oh, yeah. Because so much of those behaviors show up as a way to cry out for help, because they don't like seeing mommy and daddy fight. They don't like seeing the tension. When you walk in a room and somebody's been fighting, you don't even have to look at anybody's body language. You can feel that energy in the room. You can feel that vibe, or whatever you want to call it. You can tell when something's not right. And kids have that sense too. And we all do. If you're sick and tired of the tension, if you're sick and tired of wondering what is going on with your kids, and how can you guys get on the same page, and all these problems are coming up, and you're not quite sure how to come at them at a team, we just want to say there's hope and help for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I keep hearing, as I talk to different couples, their kids will show up sometimes as the mediator between them, saying, "Mommy, Daddy, please don't keep fighting." Sometimes they show up almost siding with one over the other, usually the male with the male and the female with the female. Not always, it's different every case. But if you're looking at that and you guys are seeing your child come between you, or you're seeing your child already beginning to pick sides, almost aligning, getting ready for that divorce, alarm bells need to be going off, guys, because there's trouble at home. And this isn't just a little problem. You've gotten to the place where things are really, really bad and you need help right now. So I just want to encourage you, for anybody that's out there in your family, prioritize the marriage above all else. You need to hear us saying that. That is the most important thing. If you have children, little kids, older kids, you need to prioritize your date nights. You need to prioritize your time together, talking, enjoying each other. It's got to be priority. But if you're realizing that you're stuck and all these alarm bells are going off in some of the things we've described tonight, it's time that you really need to get some help. And so what I want to encourage you to do is, if you realize tonight, we are really in a place where we don't know how to get out of this jam, let's get on a call together. I've got just a few slots left this coming week, probably 2 or 3 left for the whole week. What we do is get on that call, talk about what's not working in the marriage right now. And then we talk about what you dream. And when you got married all those years ago, what did you dream that it would look like when you, whether you've been married for 5, 10, 20, 30 years, what did you expect and hope that it would look like at this point? And if I can help you to get from where you are right now to where that is, I'm going to make that path clear of what that would look like us working together. But if not, I'll point you to something better that's out there. Either way, you're going to get clarity. You're going to feel served and loved, and it's a judgment-free zone. So you just go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call. Pick a time that works. We'll get on that call, and it could be the best 45 minutes you've ever invested in your marriage.
Yeah. And I just want you to know, no matter what on that call, you're going to get massive clarity. You're going to figure out what is the next step that you can take. And I want to encourage you too, that if those alarm bells are going off, those alarm bells are a blessing. They are a warning sign to say, get some help. It's like the lights that come on in your car that say it's time to get your tires checked or whatever. You need those warning signs to say, let's fix this now before it's too late.
Yes.
And so just know that we're here for you, and that you're going to get massive clarity on that call. My husband is so skilled at helping people really figure out not just what are the symptoms, but what's going on underneath and what's causing those symptoms.
Well, it's very nice of you to say that, hon. A lot of the reason is because we were there.
We've gone to hell and crawled out. So we kind of know the path out. Too. Yeah.
And that's a lot of our expertise, is that we understand it and we've lived it and we've gotten out of that, and you can too.
But don't discount the significant amount of time and money you've invested to understand how to coach people and understand how to get a marriage back on track. And so we just want you to know, again, go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call, and let's get you some massive clarity, get you guys off that crazy train.
Awesome, guys. And whether you guys are having fall break like we are or not, I know it's coming up soon. I really, really want you to think about, what's the best thing we could do for this family? What's the best thing? Yes, do the vacation, but the most important thing is to get this right. God bless you guys. We love you. Reach out. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.